Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Now sit down, relax, because you're in for a treat today. So hit that like and subscribe, it's time to give back. Alright, so today we are covering the leatherworking profession. As I covered in my skinning guide, I believe skinning is more of a secondary profession, a complement than an actual mainstay. Leatherworking has a small production tree, however these pieces are needed for a lot of armor and weapons, with the final product, Runic leather, I foresee being a big money maker. The quantity needed isn't very great, so it gets overlooked, but if you can find a tier 5 tannery and be able to produce, for instance, a runic leather, you'll be sitting on some gold. Consider you're only able to produce 10 every 24 hours. With us just giving a quick rundown, let's kind of jump into the meat and the potatoes. There is 3 categories of crafting. There's refined resources, where you use an item or items to craft said thing. There's material downgrades, which is breaking down a resource to make such item, for instance using rugged leather and solvent to downgrade rugged leather into coarse leather. Then we have material conversion, which are items that require a material converter, which is purchased via the faction shop. The basic standard version is running 100 faction tokens, used later in crafting trees such as tannin for advanced leatherworking. With an understanding of the different types of crafting, now let's delve into the items. Coarse leather being used in many recipes, roughly 353 according to the New World database, but given the worst gear score of all leathers. It's a tier 2 craftable and requiring a tier 2 tannery. Coarse leather is more of a stepping stone into other leathers, and you'll only be crafting with this if it's all you have, or you're just trying to gain some XP. Rugged leather is the next step up, unlocked at leatherworking level 50, costing 4 coarse leather to craft, including some tannin, which we will cover next. Rugged leather will give a minus 10 gear score in the more endgame crafting compared to the coarse leathers, which will give a minus 15, which at the end of the video we'll kind of go a quick breakdown of how this all works. But anyways, continuing on, rugged leather's crafting range is extended to some rarity items totaling about 373 crafted recipes, being able to use rugged leather, so it's not too bad of an item. Tannin is also unlocked at level 50, a side ingredient which is used for some current and later crafts, being a good use of weak solvent, cross reaver, coarse sandpaper, and sand flux. Tanning does require a material conversion, which you can pick up from the faction shop. These are a one-time use, resulting in 15 per. You would think tannin would be used in creating aged and rusted tannin, however they are not. The highest item used is layered leather. Once you reach level 100, you should forego making any basic tannin any further, as it gives a negative roll chance to items for greater yield. Later in the video we'll go over where and how to get some of these ingredients. Layered leather being the most unattainable if you haven't reached character level 40 due to thick hide being mostly blocked off, unless you're willing to pay for it or you have a friend. Layered leather will use up your thick hide and some of your rugged leather, so you can start to finally burn up some of that thousands of rawhide. When selecting tannin, this is how they compare. Rusted tannin gives you a flat rate, doesn't affect your chance to gain extra yield. Tannin, however, will give you a minus 5% chance of extra yield, and then aged tannin will give you a 25% chance of extra items. However, aged tannin isn't craftable till 150, so it will be a while till you'll be touching this. Layered leather will be used in 386 recipes, including some exotic weapons and epic furniture and all of the above. Rusted tannin is unlocked at level 100 and a tannery level 4 is required. Here you will need a advanced material converter, which again is purchased via the faction shop, with the ingredients being 20 of one of these: silkweave, potent solvent, fine sandpaper, and shell dust flux. The rest of tannin at this point should be taking place of all tannin in material you build with. Preventing you from losing potential yield, rusted tannin can also be gathered from supply containers in zones level 30 to 60 and is mainly just used in leatherworking and some ingredients. Aged tannin unlocked at level 150 will be your premium ingredient. Once this is unlocked, you'll be wanting to focus on this as your main tannin, granting you an additional 25% chance of extra yield. The ingredients for this are wireweave, pure solvent, obsidian sandpaper, and obsidian flux, also requiring masterwork material converter. Aged tannin is gatherable from zone levels 56 plus. Just as rested tannin, this is mainly just used in leatherworking. Infused leather, the next step in regards to leather. However, when selecting leathers for gear scores, infused leather kind of just breaks even in raising gear score, which we'll go over all the leather scores in a minute. Infused leather will take ironhide, layered leather, and tannin of choice. Again, should stay with aged tannin. Infused leather is used in runic leathers and mostly armor and weapons and some furniture. Runic leather is the last final craftable. This one has some extra things that we need to cover. You're only able to craft 10 every 24 hours, making it a great source of income if you are looking to head down this path. It does require some exotic leather such as the smolderhide and scarhide, which are dropped by level 50 plus mobs, some infused leather, and aged tannin. You don't have a choice in this one in regards to the tannin. Runic leather is used in an abundance. For instance, you could be using up to 15 in a legendary recipe, so people will be needing this since you can only craft 10 every 24 hours. This is going to be a hot item. With this completed, let's get into ingredients and how to get more, starting from the common and ending in the more rare. We'll be going over this briefly as I don't believe more detail is required. Crossweave, weak solvent, coarse sandpaper, and sandflux are gathered via supply containers ranging from zones levels 0 to 38. You can get these secondhand from faction quests or anything that requires you to search containers, so just spend the time or the second and check the containers. The more you get on your journey, the easier it is going to be going out and searching. It's also good to note that you can also use a material converter and a skill station to change one of these items into another if you are running heavy on a certain one, and this will hold true for all the items that we are going to state here. Silkweave, patent, solvent, fine sandpaper, and shell dust flux will be found in zones 34 to 58. The containers again from just coffers to chests and stockpiles. Wireweave, pure solvent, obsidian sandpaper, and obsidian flux are the final and rare ingredients, which are found in zones ranging from 56 plus, again, just from containers. So I mentioned earlier about the leather choosing affecting your gear score. Well, here's a breakdown on how that works. As you can see, infused leather is break even if you gear score, with coarse leather giving you a minus 15 gear score, and runic leather giving you the best. Ultimately, you're better off using a legendary hide such as scarhide over layered leather, if you have the option that is, but you should be aiming towards the runic for the best final product, and more likely for the end game. So that was a doozy, guys. I hope you guys got something, learned something. If I did miss anything or you guys have any questions, as always, just leave a comment down below, hit that like and subscribe. I am always willing to help and try to figure things out. But granted, I can't foresee every single question that you guys may have or be able to answer every single thing that maybe I don't know yet. But any guys, I do appreciate all the love and the support, and until next time, guys, it was Feb.